for you? And that it could be anything. What is one tip that you say, I feel like this is what gets me bookings? Anybody? Eva threw out the purse game. So that's her tip for the day. Or you can add another one, Eva.
Well, I had two that really wanted that roller bag. I mean, honestly, that's what's interesting, getting some of their interest. It's funny what's motivating to people, but I mean, that's one way to get it going, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, that's 31 set us up, right? They set us up for success. They pick out the bags people are going to want and they make them exclusives, right? Because if they put them in the catalog, then, I have a lot of people that have done parties because they want that roller bag, and that's huge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then hostess stacking, I think that helps. Because people can see what all they can get if they have a good party.
I can barely hear you. You said hostess stacking? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really, I'm taking notes so that I remember I can.
And Casey, with your online parties, you can even do that like in a live video or record a video and upload it to YouTube and still show that to them online so that they can actually see that in person the same way that you did that at your home party.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Okay. Well, those are awesome tips. I really love that. I feel like we can kind of get into training stuff, and then somebody might be sitting on this really awesome tip they want to share. So that's basically what tonight is going to be. Renee and I are just going to share with you guys some tips. We aren't experts in this, y'all. We are at the same place that you are as far as, looking for more bookings or we have people that'll cancel on us or flop out or, whatever else, just like anybody else. So the reason that we're sharing this is simply because we've tried some different things. We have some ideas of what works for us, but not the thing I've learned in this business, been doing this for 4 years, is that what works for me might not work for you. Right? That things don't work across the board, but there are some things that are pretty reliable. At least kind of like it gives you a starting point, right? And that's what our goal is to give you a starting point. One of the things I have notes everywhere, so I'm going to work off my sticky notes here. The first thing I would say is that the thing that changed my mindset about how to get bookings, one of the number one things was changing my mindset, my mentality, right? Because one of the things that really terrified me about being a 31 consultant was the fact that I didn't want to be pushy. I didn't want to be that pushy salesperson, right? Because, you walk into a store and the furniture store and they're like all up in your face. Or we went shopping for a mattress and that person's like on you, right? Hi, what are you here for today? Like, they're making commission off of it. And so they have an interest in it. And like, that is hard, right? Because that really, it makes it, what the focus is about them, right? It's hard for you to be like, they're just here to serve me. But when you are offering somebody, when you're asking someone for something like, hey, I really need bookings on my calendar, would you do a party for me? Right? That is desperate. I mean, if you could ask your best friend or your mom, I need a party, you need to do a party for me, right? But for the most part, you want to be offering, because when you're offering something, then it's not personal, right? It's not, when they say no, then it's not personal against you. It's just the fact that that's not a good fit for them right now, right? If you ask them, I really need a party, will you do a party for me? And they say no, at least for me, that feels like rejection, right? I feel like, well, what did I do wrong? Or what's the matter here? But if you think about what you can offer them, so some thoughts of what you can offer them right now. Everybody's buying Christmas gifts, and you can help them get theirs for free or for half price. People will think, oh, I get free product. But making that actually like, what is that realistically for them? Instead of just free product, when you say, hey, you could knock out your Christmas list and get your Christmas shopping done right now, and you could do it for free or for half price, like get super good deals. That is something you can offer them, right? That's something that's appealing, right? Not just have a party with me, right? You're offering them something so they have free credit. I don't know any women in my life right now that could not use a night away from their whoever's at home, right? That could not use some time away from their family or their kids or their husband or their house, whatever else, or their job, right? And that's one thing you can offer is say, hey, let's have a girls' night. And it could be that you go to a restaurant. If they can't do it at their house, you can get creative, but you're offering them time with their friends, right? I will come up with a reason why you can get together with your girlfriends and you guys can shop, because girlfriends plus shopping equals fun, right? That's the goal. Offering them something. Or, for example, something that you could offer, you know how our hostesses get a free shopping pass for the outlet sale in December? That's something to offer them. You know, you could say to somebody who says, you know, you have that lady that loves the outlet sale but never does anything else for you. They just shop the outlet sale. Or it could be someone, if you're a newer consultant and you don't have, like, I have a list of people that only shop outlet sales. They don't do anything else the rest of the year. They want those bargain deals. So you could reach out to her and say, hey, you know what? If you get $200 in orders, you get to be first in line. You get to get an early shopping pass for that. Again, you're offering something to her, something that is appealing to her, something that she would want. Does that make sense? Yes. Yep. So that would be a mentality change. Once that I got that difference in my head, then it made it easier for me. I heard someone told me, I remember who it was, and it stuck with me, the analogy of a waitress offering dessert. So if you've heard me talk before, this is what I would say over and over again. And it goes for bookings, it goes for orders, and it goes for recruits, building a team. And basically, right, if you're a waitress, what do you do when the people have finished their supper, their meal, or whatever else? You go back around and you say, would you like some dessert? Right? I mean, it's like almost guaranteed. They're always going to do that. But how many times people actually say yes? I mean, we did our bingo night. The waitress was there and I said, do you offer dessert? She goes, oh yeah, every time. I said, well, how many times do people actually say yes? She's like, not very often. I was like, well, then do you stop asking? She's like, no. Right? So that's her job. She goes in and she says, would you like some dessert? And they say no. And she doesn't go over into a corner and cry her eyes out because they don't like her, or they don't want to be around her, or they don't want her dessert or whatever, right? She's just like, okay, she moves on to the next person. That's the same mentality that you need to have with this. You offer it to them. They say no. You say, okay, go to the next person. And you offer it to them. They say no. Okay, go to the next person, right? Don't get bogged down in those no's. You just keep going, because you will find your yeses, I promise. So there's a couple of things that would apply to, and if you have questions like wave or something like that, just interrupt me. There's a couple of things that will apply to people that have been doing this for a while, and maybe not for people that haven't, but you could kind of keep a mental note. So, for example, if you have customers at all, right, if you've had anybody order from you at all, then you have the opportunity. They're called warm leads, right? You have three kinds of leads. You have hot leads, which are ladies, like Jen said, right? They want that roller bag. They're doing a party. They have to pick a date. That'd be a hot lead. A warm lead would be someone like your past customers. They like 31. You know that because they bought something from you. And maybe you haven't talked to them recently about having a party or placing an order or whatever, but they would be a warm lead, right? A cold lead would be like, I don't know who you are. I'm going to call you up. I've never talked to you before, whatever else, and I'm going to ask you to do a party. Terrifying. I don't like doing those at all. I'm always going to start with my warm leads or my hot leads, because that's way less terrifying. So pink bag calls is when you call your customers that have ordered from you before, and you have several different options. If they've recently got their order, you could say, hey, Susie Joe, have you gotten your stuff? Do you love it? Right? If it's about 90 days, remember we have a 90-day money back guarantee. You can, because I put this personalized, just make sure that's out there. You can call and say, hey, it's been, we have a 90-day money back guarantee. Just want to check in with you, make sure you're still loving your products. If there's anything I can do for you. And if they respond with something like, yes, I love it, it's amazing, that's a really good open door. Just say, well, have you seen our fall catalog? Or do you have Christmas shopping? Or whatever, right? Then you have something to offer her, because you know she's excited about it. She knows she loves it, and you can offer. And if she says no, you go, okay, and you make your next phone call or text message or whatever, right? Not everybody does phone calls. I don't do phone calls. I do text messages most of the time and Facebook messages. Now, remember, different generations need different things. So if you're doing a generation in the 70s, they like phone calls. just FYI. The pink bag calls. So those are, does that make sense? Nod with me. Yeah. Okay. Another tip would be fundraisers. So I forgot your name. iPhone 2. What's your name?
Martha.
Martha. Okay, sorry. So Martha is doing a fundraiser, right? And the beauty with fundraisers is that although you might not make, depends on what you're doing, but typically you're not guaranteed a paycheck, but what you are getting is a bunch of leads, right? You might not be getting a big paycheck. Like, for example, I did a fundraiser for a little boy who's in the hospital with cancer. It was a huge party, but I gave my commission back, most of my commission, and so I didn't get a huge paycheck, but I got 60 new contacts from that, people that I've never had ordered from ever before. That's a lot of new contacts, a lot of new leads, following up with, seeing what do they like their stuff, do they love it? There were a lot of people that had never ordered from 31 or had done it like 4 years ago, but not recently. So was that fundraiser worth it? Yeah, absolutely. Did I get a big paycheck? No, but those leads, that's what, helps me in the future, right? So if you're looking at an empty calendar and you've tried your other things, look for a fundraiser. And again, you're offering something. You're not saying, I really need a party, so when you do, I want to do a fundraiser. Think about what you can offer. You can offer somebody chemo care bags, or you can do like you said, the band, they're raising money. People are, there's some other ones, Renee, like,
there's daycares, churches, someone said they don't live with their church, mission organizations, stuff like that.
Go ahead.
With your fundraiser, I know some of my girls are more familiar with the ones where they do like the specials every month, like next month, for example, the Zip Top organizing on the special, but yours was all online, correct? So you got those people's information by doing online orders.
I did a Facebook event. I always do a Facebook event. And so I have a lot of them. I've added a lot of them as friends, or I have them as a contact. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool. Yeah, I do it all online, my personal preference, because I don't want to deal with the hassle of collecting orders and cash and whatever else. It depends on what you're doing. For me, that is what I choose to do. So again, your business, you run it how you want to. Doing the order forms, like just doing a special, just doing a one item, totally okay. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. The thing is that a lot of times the ladies that are doing the fundraisers I'm doing them with, they're like, well, that bag is nice, but I have my eye on something else, right? And so they want the whole catalog because they have a list of things that they want. They might get that special on top of everything else they order. So when I open up the online and it's just all online, then a lot of times for me, I found that I sell more because they see the whole catalog and they see everything. But if it's online, I'm not responsible for sending them a bunch of catalogs, right? I don't need to do that. I will send whoever's hosting it, I will send them, like I did today, like 5 or 6 catalogs. Depends on what it is, how big it is, right? And some mini catalogs, and I have these really cool, I can post the link, but can you see this? If I hold it there. Right, it says it's a 31 fundraiser, and then it has, thank you for supporting our fundraiser. We love their products. And then it has instructions how to order, right? So it's cute. It says go to my website, shop your favorite products, add them to your cart, complete your order. It's really that simple. And stuff. And so I put these, just print them on cardstock. I have the same ones. They're really awesome. They came from an Etsy shop from Melissa Feetsum, who I'm like a Melissa Feetsum groupie. But it's the same thing as this. You see this, right? But this one's geared for a party. So this is what goes in my hostess packets with a mini catalog. So I just do these with a fundraiser. And on the back, it has my Facebook, my VIP Facebook group. So I'm getting, again, right, fundraiser, getting these out, getting people to have my information. Does that make sense? Cool. So let's say you, a lot of times, like Eva was saying, if you can get one good party, right, you have no price in the books, you get one good party, then you hostess coach the mess out of that girl, right? You are like on the phone, texting with her, encouraging her, how's it going, what can I do for you? Because all you need is one really good party to get the ball rolling or rolling again, right? So you get that hostess and the things that you can do, right, to help. that is you can tell your hostess, you can ask her, because she won't even think about it, but you can say, hey, I'm looking to get out of my circle. I'd love to meet some new people. So can you make sure you invite people that I won't know? Right? And that can help her. She will be like, oh yeah, totally. Right? If you're in a similar friend group, that kind of thing. The other thing, sorry, I'm getting a little warm here. The other thing is to remind her guests that they can bring a friend, because you'd be amazed at how many people don't realize they can bring a friend to a direct sales party, right? Like they just think I was the one that got the invitation, and so I'm the only one that can come. But hello, the more people that come, the better, right? So reminding her, tell her guests, bring a friend. You can even offer like an incentive. Bring a friend and get a gift. And I give them like a key fob, or I have a prize bag that has things from the Target dollar spot. Danger. And so that's like my prize bag. They get to pull something from the prize bag. So those are two things that can help, right? Get more people there. So you have more people to order, you have more leads, that kind of thing. And then, man, a booking game, that is, Eva, you are dead on. That is so helpful. And basically, if you've never done a booking game before, there's a whole bunch of different ones out there. The concept is you have ladies who are sitting there and they are like, I really like 31. I like this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But in their mind, they're not going to come out and say, I want to have a party. They're just not going to do that. They might even fill out those. I love it. I love going back and looking. They fill out those drawing slips, like enter my drawing, which I have them all do at the beginning. And it'll be like, no party. No, I don't want to be a consultant. And like, no, I don't want to do a fundraiser or whatever else. And those ladies, they get the book a party in their booking game, and they have a blast at their party, and they walk away with tons of rewards, right? And so people will be like, oh, well, they're going to feel manipulated. Whatever. If they do, then they can just take themselves out the door. I don't have time for that drama. And basically the concept of the booking game is to push them over the edge. It's to take the people that are kind of like, I think I would do this, right? Or what's the harm in doing this? Or usually the reason they don't want to do a party is because they have some concerns. They feel like nobody will show up. That's usually the biggest one, right? I'm going to have a party and nobody will be there. And I agree. I would not. Or they feel like maybe people come, but nobody's going to order. Like my friends have no money to do that. Not a valid concern. Things like that, right? It's not a good time. People will be out of town, whatever. The booking game is just something fun, and it's all about how you present it. So if you present it like a drag, they will feel like it's a drag. If you present it upbeat, cheerful, and like it's fun, then they will take it as upbeat, cheerful, and fun. So there's the purse game, like Eva said. Basically, you have these really cute purses. You can get them there's some website online, or you can go, sometimes Target has them or whatever, or you can get those, like the party stores will have those little purses for like weddings or whatever, like a favor. And it's just something fun and cute. You can do envelopes. I do envelopes. The purses are cute because they kind of get their attention, and they're holding this little purse, and you pass it out to everybody. And then and all the different booking games, they typically get 3 choices, right? They get to open it, which is they play. And then whatever, you give them their ground rules. Basically the ground rules are, if you open it up, whatever's inside, you're going to honor your end of the deal, and I'm going to honor my end of the deal. And I'll make a joke, and I'll say, okay, now here's the deal. If you open it up and it says grand prize or whatever, I'm not going to say, well, girl, I didn't actually think you were going to get that, so I'm not going to give it to you, right? And in reality, what am I saying? I'm telling them, if you open it up and it says book a party, you are going to book a party, right? And I want them to know the rules. I don't want them to come back later and say, I didn't know, I didn't understand, whatever. So telling them the rules 5 times doesn't bother me, because then I know people that open up those purses or envelopes or whatever else, they know in their mind, okay, I might get a book a party and I'm okay with that. Does that make sense? Yes. The purse game is great. It's fun. You can do the dice game. That's another fun one that I did for a really long time. That one, they roll the dice, and then you have your envelopes marked like 2 through 12, and then they get the envelope that goes along with the dice, the number that they rolled. And then you have one grand prize a number 2 because that's not rolled the most. That's the least frequently rolled number. And then at the end, they can either, same with the purse game, right? They can either play, meaning they open it, they can pass, saying, I don't want this, or they can upgrade. And not everybody offers the upgrade. I do, depending on, I guess you can do it how many parties you have or want or whatever. Upgrade basically means if you know, without even opening your envelope, that you want to have a party, then you hand back your envelope to me, right? We put a date on the calendar, and then you will get, and you give whatever XYZ, tell them, you will get a zip top organizing utility tote. Or you will get whatever, right? It doesn't matter what you say, just something. And then they'll be like, no, I'm going to chance it with my envelope, right? And then they'll pull it out and it'll say, book a party. And they're like, oh, darn, I wish I would have upgraded. And they're, everybody's like, can she still get it? I'm like, nope, she didn't decide to upgrade, right? The envelope game that I love, it's the same concept, right? It is, you have envelopes, you hand them all out. Ladies, yeah, I see. When they're holding something in their hands, it's psychological. When they're holding something in their hands, it's a lot harder to give something back than it is just to reject it at the beginning. So if you're handing it saying, would you like one? It's harder for them to say, they can say, nope, I'm good. But if you put it in their hands and then you tell them to hand it back to you, a lot of times they're going to keep it. It's psychological. Someone's figured out the psychology of it and it just works, right? So those are the things that are helpful, right? Those are some different ideas. They kind of give you different ideas. We have this, what's this called? 50 booking ideas list. And all it is 50 booking ideas list, right? And it has a ton of things. It has a launch or relaunch party. It has a office drop-in ambush. Those are great. You can take a free bag or retired bag. You pass around a catalog, that kind of thing. If they get $200 in orders, they get the free product or whatever. You can do, like we talked about, a fundraiser. You can do an office lunch party. So you say, hey, I'll come in your lunch break. I'll bring some stuff. Anybody who orders, that kind of thing. You can do, people do cookies and catalogs or donuts and something.
Donuts and catalogs.
Donuts and catalogs, right? You bring some donuts and some catalogs and they say thank you and they shop, kind of thing. Renee and I were talking about the fresh list of 62. You'll hear, you might have heard this, but the list of 62 is basically taking the Frank's list, acronym, right? F is for friends, R is for relatives, I gotta spell Frank's, A is for acquaintances, N is for neighbors, A is for kids, anybody related to your kids' world, and then S would be spouse or significant other or whatever. And you take that list and you make a list of 62 people. And these are people that you think would be interested in 31, or you think that would be fun to have a party with, or love 31 and they're addicts, or whatever. Those are the people that you put on this list. And you just work your way down the list, right? Someone says no, cross them off. Good. Make sure you ask, is it no, never, or is it no, not right now? Because that's a huge one, right? Because a lot of people will walk away and assume that a no is not ever. But in reality, this is not a good time, but check back with me in a month and I'd be all for it, right? So we're going to put this up on our team pages, this 50 bookings list. And what we want you guys to do is to look through it, right? Download it or whatever. I printed a copy out and I kept it in my calendar. And then when I was trying to figure out, I needed to book some parties or whatever, I'd go back to this and just pick something I wanted to do. So the challenge for you guys tonight is to go back and look at this list, or something we talked about tonight. But look at this list and pick one that you're going to do in the next week and put it on your team page. Be like, I am going to do XYZ, or challenge accepted, whatever you want to say. Just because it helps keep everybody accountable. That's what we want to do, is make sure that we're people to cheer us on. And then when you do get those parties, right, you're like, yeah, I got the party. So that's my spiel. Renee, what do you have to add?
I just want to add, at the party, even after you play a booking game, I know for a while I was kind of getting in a rut that I did not, if I played the booking game and people passed or whatever, I just kind of wrote them off that they weren't going to book a party. But I feel like it's still important that whenever you check out, like they give you your order, still ask them again. I know you passed in my booking game, but have you reconsidered? Would you still be interested in the party? Because sometimes I've had people change their mind and like, you know what, I think I will do one. And so always like follow up with that person, even if they already said no. Yeah, it's just a good rule of thumb. And something else I told Amy today is that I have been recently asking for referrals, and I actually got a party for Saturday by doing this. I asked on my fall catalog request Google form that I sent out to all my customers if they had a friend or family member who would like to do a 31 party or liked 31, if they could share their information with me. And so this one girl, she's like, yeah, my sister-in-law loves it, and I think she wants to do a party. And so I got a party just like that. But if you don't do that request, you could just post something in your VIP group and say, you know, I reward you for any referrals that you give me that places an order or books a party. And then you can offer them a coupon or a gift certificate or a prize that you got, like a monthly special that you paid $5 or $10 for, whatever you're willing to give away. There again, you know, how much are you willing to give up to get a party? And so that's something that maybe they're not interested in partying with you, but they have a friend that would be.
One of the, somebody told me, you know, some training, is to help keep you accountable, like to yourself, is tell your guests at the party, you come up with whatever. You say, okay, I'm going to ask, because I want everybody to get free stuff, I'm going to ask every single one of you at checkout if you want to have your own girls' night, right? And if I don't ask you, then you will get a insert item. And it needs to be something that you actually don't want to give away, because then you'll be motivated to ask every single person. And here's the deal. They will be seeking you out to talk to you so that you will ask them, right? Because they're like, I want that item. I do like, or you could do like a wristlet, or I don't know, a little carry-out caddy. Because, you know, if it's like a key fob or if it's like a nail file, you're like $2. Whoops, I forgot to ask that person, right? But if it's something that's a bigger item, then you will keep it on your mind. Need to ask every person. And then that kind of helps like to keep you accountable, and it makes it fun for them, because they're, instead of them like feeling like dreading, she's going to ask me to have a party, they're waiting for you to ask, right? Or they're waiting to catch you. You know, the grocery stores, when they have like, if we don't ask you about this, you get these 2 liters of soda or whatever else. So you're like waiting until the end, and right, you're getting ready to walk away. And you're like, you didn't ask me, I want my soda. It's the same concept, right? You want them to be waiting for you to ask a party and be looking forward to it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Any
questions?
So people who are just on the fence and you're really trying to get them through, what's a great way? I feel like I'm trying to think what's meaningful to them. So for a couple of my people, it's the roller bag. So I'm talking about that. But what else to really, I don't know, what's some helpful, quick things, you know, just to really help them seal the deal kind of thing?
What I do is to stress the urgency of picking out a date. Like if they're kind of dragging their heels, then I will say something along the lines of, hey, my fall books up fast, and so I want to make sure that you get a date. So here are my 2 open dates. Which one works best for you? And it might not always be, you know, I might be looking at an empty calendar, but it's still, you want to give them the urgency to get back with you. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. I even offered to host it at our house. You know, I said, I'll host it here. Just bring your people. So
yeah. We're going to get cut off. But guys, This is awesome. Thanks for joining us. This will be recorded and will be put on our team pages so you can look at it later. And we will be doing this again soon. See you later.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys.
Bye.
See ya.